Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait up, nerds. If you're having as much fun as we're having,
Oh, yeah, we're having fun.
then please give us a like, follow us, tell your friends, follow us on Twitter at nerdbuzzed, follow us on Facebook, leave us a comment, share a story with us, something you want us to talk about, fuel the nerd fire, and
Yes.
as always, you can go to nerdbuzzed.com.
Hey, you know they can find us on nerdbuzzed.com, man. But you know what we need?
What do we need?
We need some beer.
Of course. On with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nerd Buzz!
Nerdbuzz doesn't condone the consumption of alcohol by any persons under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome to Nerdbuzzed, episode 66, the podcast where we talk about all the nerdy stuff that we care about and drink a cool frosty beer while we're doing it. I'm your host, Marcus Ellinger, and with me as always,
Jeremiah Johnson.
all right, on this episode of Nerdbuzzed, we have Not a Hero review, shows with great first episodes, What's Up Sony's Sleeve, and Kevin Smith, more news, he's at it again. So, but first, and of course, lots more nerdy stuff. But first, the most important part, my personal favorite part, we go over to Jay.
For the beer. So, today we are drinking Rogue Brewery's 4-hop IPA. Also followed, I think they have a 3-hop and a 6-hop.
Yes, I think there's might even be more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to say, I'm a little disappointed we didn't go with a higher hop one because there seems to be a theme with this one. I noticed that the percent is 4.44.
4.44%.
So I wondered if we would have went with the
hops.
6 or like the 8 or, I don't know how high they go, but would it have been like 8?
Well, I'm actually really stoked by the fact that it is 4.44% and an IPA because it's going to be more of a session style beer.
Yeah.
And I didn't eat a whole lot. But besides the point on that, I'm really stoked because how many times have I been preaching? I've been getting tired of these big beers.
Yeah.
Like bring the fundamentals back. And if you're going to go big, you can do it. And there's ways to make it clean, but so many places don't.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I went and tried a new brewery that I've never been to before in Everett.
Nice.
And it's the At Large Brewery. And wasn't super impressed by all of his flavor profiles entirely. But the fundamentals and the technical aspect of his brewing just shines through incredibly well.
Oh, nice.
You can tell that he's getting full utilization out of all of his grains, and they're fully attenuated, so they're getting fermented out really well, and the temperatures are really done, watched well. So,
Nice.
Like that aspect, and
he's super honed his textbooks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he needs to, maybe if he gets a little wild and crazy and starts experimenting a little bit in there,
yeah.
we'll get some really good off the wall technical stuff.
I think this guy has potential to make some amazing things.
Nice.
So, and his stout, oatmeal stout, was pretty spot on. There's only a couple minor little things I'd like to tweak on it myself, but that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a
But
big fan
back
of
to this beer.
Yeah, back to the one we're gonna drink because I want to drink it.
Yes, back to this
I've
beer.
had a long day at work. I've died to drink this beer.
Hey, me too. I've been at work since 3 o'clock this morning.
Nice.
Well, not until now, but anyway. Anyway, as I said, 4-hop IPA, 4.44%. Rogue Brewery, they grow their own, all their own ingredients.
Yeah.
And they fully process all their own ingredients. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And anyway, I gotta say, it smelled amazing when I smelled it earlier. Looks amazing. It's got
It does smell really amazing.
pretty heavy chill
It smells
haze.
super fresh.
It does. Pretty heavy chill haze, and I'm not sure where all that's coming from, but
It does.
it's anyway.
Can we drink it, please? I'm excited.
Why?
Because I want to drink it.
I know.
Because I'm ready to get buzzed
To all the nerds,
through all the fuzz.
bottoms up.
Let's get nerd buzzed.
Wow. So that settles in with a pretty intense, harsh, no, not harsh, but a pretty intense bitter bite right away. Then it Has a really smooth malt body. Really
Yeah.
light, smooth malt body. It's present. Kind of settles in. A little sweet on the back of your tongue at the very end. And just a nice citrusy tang.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really not. It is pretty hoppy right away, but it does mellow out really nicely.
Yeah.
And it's pretty light on your tongue.
And I'm betting as you drink this, not even like just right away, just a few more sips, you're not even going to notice that bitter.
Yeah, maybe not. It doesn't,
Yeah.
and it doesn't linger too much.
No, it
Which
doesn't
is
linger
nice.
hard at all. Very clean. I like that.
It has that good crisp. I just love an IPA. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Psycho.
Yeah. We did try. Me and my wife went to a new restaurant, Jack Hops, I think is what it was called.
Jack Hops, okay.
Yeah, I think that's right. Or Hop Jacks.
Oh,
Maybe
Hop Jacks. There we go.
Yes. Sorry. I dyslexic it. But we went in there and so
Disgust,
many. Yeah, they so many of their beers were almost like skunky hoppy. Like I couldn't handle it. My wife's not a fan of that part of an IPA, but she loves the crisp and the citrusy that it can have, the freshness and that part of
She'd
it.
probably really like the New England style ones. They're almost juicy with
Yeah,
the way that
I bet she would.
they do it. There's a lot of mid to late edition hops. Not quite as heavily dry hopped, but you get that that really brings out the piney and citrusy flavors of the hops a lot.
Yeah, these ones were almost. I mean, it was almost like skunky, bittery. They were so intense with it. I thought it was overpowering myself.
That's just probably the hop varieties that they were using, and they could have been some temperature control issues with that.
Maybe they should take a lesson, borrow the notes from a duder you met.
Yeah,
You get them dialed in, right?
yeah, dude, that guy's beers. I think I got his here. His tap list.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit. Most of his IPAs have a very similar body and flavor profile in which you can tell the base came from.
Yeah.
And he's tweaked little things, and I think he needs to go a little bit bolder step on them all.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's fairly new, I'm assuming then, right?
Yeah, he's
been
been
honing his
I think
skills.
he's been going since June,
Nice.
so
Yeah,
not very long.
I'm really noticing the that kind of like summertime grassiness to it.
Yes,
for
it does
sure.
have a lot of that.
But I like that. I'm a big fan of a good beer in summertime, and this one's nailing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
lawnmower beer.
Yeah, for sure. So this week we get to review Not a Hero.
Yeah,
Because we played it for 2 weeks. I have to say I'm in love with this game. This game is so Marcus. It really is. I think it's absolutely great.
I did not get much gameplay on it at all, but it was a lot of fun and way more difficult than I expected it to be.
Yeah, it really it really starts amping up the difficulty and becomes more challenging. That first third of the game, by the end of it, it starts to amp up a little bit, but that first part is just like they bait that hook so hard and sucker you in and get you hooked.
Well, I was watching you play originally, and I'm like going, oh, this is going to be cake. I can do this no problem.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And it's only a couple buttons, but you have to be on point with those
Yes.
buttons, especially if you want to do any stage that has like a time limit that you have to get through and still achieve everything. So, which actually ended up being my favorite ones because you just have to nail everything perfect. But it's so 8-bit side scroller, classic awesomeness.
And ridiculously gory for 8-bit.
Oh, it's so good and offensive, right? Like there's so many things that are offensive in this game. I mean, and across the board, they offend everybody. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Religious people, all sorts of different ethnicities, people that are against violence. Like this is it banging on all cylinders in my book. It's great. It's so brutal in its cheesy little 8-bit way. I think this is I really liked Broforce, and I thought Broforce was done really well. But I think this takes the cake there. I really prefer this game over that. I love that you can get hit and recover your
Yes.
health.
Yes.
That made the game so much less frustrating, right? Broforce was frustrating because you died with one hit and you had no control over what guy you were. So this one you can pick your guy, stick with your guy. Each guy has their voices are great. I love their little one-liners that they say. They're so stereotypical.
I hate that purple dude, though.
Oh yeah, can't stand. Oh yeah. It's totally like Peanuts, like the adults in Peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at least you only get him between the levels.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you read what he's saying, it is actually is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I loved it. It's totally up there for me. I think as far as this year goes, it's my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, not that we've played a whole ton yet, but this is up there, man. This is the unicorn for this year as far as nerd play goes. Man, I really can't say enough things about it. The biggest bummer for me was that there's no Vita support.
Yeah.
I was really bummed.
Sorry for tweeting that. I thought it had.
Well,
it,
and I originally said it too
Yeah,
because
I
I
know.
just assumed it's the same people. They made Ollie Ollie. Ollie is available on everything, and I assumed. And the game caters to the Vita, the style and the gameplay. Because again, it's only a couple buttons. It doesn't require any other sort of input. So I don't know what the deal was. They specifically said they really had a difficult time porting it over, and they just gave up. So it's really too bad because it would be such a good.
You'd think with only a couple
game.
buttons like that, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, and it's not like it's graphically demanding, really. But it's so cool. I love every time when you go from it's like side scroller and you're going through different levels on buildings, and every time you get to like jump out of a building and crash through a window and do your sweet slide and gun someone down, it's oh man, this schoolgirl grin every time. Yes. It was so good. So I totally recommend it to everybody. You should download this game and you should play it. It's completely a cheap thrill.
It is.
If you're into anything cheesy, classic action 8-bit, you're gonna love it. Yeah. Man, I have to put a number on it. Let's see.
I know what I'm doing.
You already know what you're doing. I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
Really?
I really think it's a solid 8. I think it's totally great. I think there are things that they could have tweaked and made a little better about it, but I also think any of those the subtle shortcomings it has still kind of cater to that game style. So
like,
it's fine.
Shortcoming, like what are you talking about there?
I mean, it just could have, like, I think the levels are all really short.
I like that.
I mean, I like that too, but I think that you're going to run into like game length issues because there's really only, I'm trying to remember how many stages, like 12, like 18 of them or so, maybe 20 at the most. So I could see getting through it quickly. I haven't totally beat it, so maybe there's like a game plus mode or something where it amps things up. But it seems like it could, but again, I'm not really opposed to that either, right? Because I'm a big fan of a real short, sweet package. You okay there?
I don't know.
Is it going to happen again?
I think it might. Be right back. I'll be back. So, level's short.
Yeah, I think that...
Game plus mode?
Yeah, I just think that any shortcoming... Like, other people might find it lacking something, like maybe some features or something, but... I really think it's such a sweet little package. I mean, for me personally, like I already said, it's totally a Marcus game. It's so awesome. It caters to me.
Very much so.
Yes. So I think it deserves an 8 all day. It really is great. I mean,
I didn't think I liked it quite that much. I was going to go 6, 7, 5, so...
6, 7. Oh, almost a 7.
Almost a 7.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. It's better than okay and almost good.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
Can I twist your arm to a 7?
It's a
Come
7.
on, it's a
It's
7.
good. It is good. It's a 7. All right.
Okay, give it a full 7.
Yeah.
You want to play more, don't you?
I do.
I totally want to beat that game. I will beat that nerd play for sure. It's something I'm going to go back to. And I'm going to show friends how absurd that game is.
Nice.
And they're going to love it, damn it. So we get to pick another game. And I'm going to lean towards either the Little Big Planet 3 or the Ninja Senki DX.
So...
Do you want to play a 2D side-scroller platformer that's also kind of an 8-bit? Run with the 8-bit theme, or do you want to do a Little Big Planet game? Have you ever played Little Big Planet?
I've played a little bit of Little Big Planet 2, but it was... I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. And it wasn't helping me out.
Yeah, it's very... I don't know. It's Little Big Planets, when they first came out, people are... It's one of those games that I think you either love it or you just don't care for it. So it's either... And people that love it just will not shut up about it, and they just think it's the bee's knees as far as that game goes. But I've always kind of been in the wishy-washy on it, and I got the first one, and then that was it. I didn't get 2 or 3. I got Mod Nation after it, which is also like super customizing your characters and stages and stuff, and I just went that route. But if you want to try it, I think as far as your the first challenge that you always face every time we pick a Nerd Play game is the dreaded download monster.
Yes.
And I think the download monster is going to be brutal on Little Big Planet versus the Ninja Senki.
The downloads actually don't take that long anymore when I'm connected. I just have to...
It's just being connected?
I just got to be home and connected.
Yeah.
And because, like I said, my internet is my cell phone. So
Yeah.
And like I said, I tried doing the whole at home without turning my PlayStation on. Linked to the phone and everything, ready to go. And I tried doing with the app, the download.
Yeah.
Went back 2 days later thinking, hey, it's totally had plenty of time. I've been home, had it been linked and all this. It should have downloaded. No, I had to go into my PS Plus in the store and then and hit download from inside.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation. So
Well,
that kind of sucked.
Do you want to tackle the download beast, or do you want to go for something a little simpler?
I just think for this time around, let's just stick with the simpler.
Okay, let's go 8-bit all the way.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Let's do it. Let's rock the old school. I'm into it. You know me, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. So, I'm just gonna say it. There is some stuff coming out next week, but I don't care.
Okay.
So we'll move on. Let's talk about some nerdy stuff that we did, because I got some nerdy stuff I did, as every week. One thing I did was I watched the new Archie show. Me and Kristen watched it.
The new Archie?
Riverdale. Have you heard about this?
No.
It's a CW show. So that kind of tells you the state of it right there.
Yeah.
Right? I think CW is in the midst of this chick drama show. Like they're dropping off the old ones and they're going to pick up some new ones. Mm-hmm. And so Riverdale is one, and it is totally a chick drama fest. So I'm going to let her keep watching it.
Right up your alley.
Yeah, right? So I'm going to with so many love, it's like love octagon. I don't know. It's not even a triangle. So I'm going to let her keep watching it, and I didn't think I'm going to bail on that one.
All right.
The other one I watched was on Netflix. I did a lot of TV show watching, and it was have you heard of the Santa Clarita Diet?
No.
No? It's this really weird show. So Santa Clarita is a place, right? And the diet part is it stars Drew Barrymore and Oliphant, the guy from Justified.
Okay, somebody at work was talking about the new Drew Barrymore show.
Yeah, and they're married as a couple, and it's like one day they're real estate people, and they're going to sell a house, and one day she just like barfs out like 5 gallons of barf in the middle of showing off the master bedroom. She's like, "Oh, excuse me, I don't feel so good," and goes in the bathroom and just keeps barfing while her husband tries to lure her away. So the whole room is just caked in barf. Like, it's super disgusting. And in the middle of the floor is this weird red ball thing that she barfed up, and so she wakes up the next day and she's like turned into a zombie somehow. Like, she's a living dead, right?
Okay.
And so then the whole show turns into how they're going to feed her human flesh. Like, once she tastes human flesh, she can't eat anything else. So it's about them trying to kill people so that she can feed, but at the same time get away with it. And the Oliphant guy is such a cornball goofball, which is not who he normally plays, right? But it kind of sucked me in. I didn't like it at first, but it kind of sucked me in.
All right.
So I think it's interesting. It's worth watching. It's great if you want to sit down and watch, something that isn't Riverdale with your lady friend or your man friend, whatever your prerogative is. The other thing I watched all the Flash. I got all caught up.
Okay.
And I have a big complaint about Flash. I love Flash.
No.
It's my favorite of the CW shows. But what the hell is up with there being like 20 million speedsters?
I don't know.
It takes away, I think, from Flash being cool.
I haven't watched it. I mean, last I checked, it was still what's his name? The black dude.
Because there's Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom, right? Well, there was like Reverse Flash. There's Zoom. There's the Flash from the other time period, which is like his dad from Earth 2 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then there's what's the doctor name? That was Wells.
Oh, yeah.
The Wells from Earth 2's daughter is also a speedster now. Kid Flash is in there. He finally turns into Kid Flash. What's his face is the brother.
Oh,
Wally.
Wally, yeah.
He turns into Kid Flash, so he's there now. Plus, there's this new Flash, like speedster guy.
Well, we knew Wally was going to.
Yeah, you knew he was because he's Wally West, right?
Yeah.
But now there's like 7 people that can tap into the Speed Force. So it's a little oversaturation, I think. But they have some Gorilla Grodd stuff coming up, and so I'm totally stoked for that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still a sucker for it, right? It is by far my favorite one, but there's a lot of speedsters.
Yeah, like I said, the last episode with Zoom was the last episode I watched.
Oh yeah, you got to get caught up. Use the especially new laptop. Use the app, the CW app. You can get caught up on the whole the winter break and get caught up on all the crossover episodes.
Okay.
And I think they're gonna fall off as soon as this next episode comes out. So you got to watch it, or you're gonna, because I think they trickle off every week. You lose one, and I think this next week you're gonna lose one.
All right,
So check it out. You've been warned.
I have. I think I'm gonna have to treat it like I do with Gotham, though.
Oh yeah, just wait.
Just wait until
Get it on the Netflix.
Yeah.
Which they're supposed to move to it quickly. Is what
Nice.
CW's promised. The other thing I did, I got my new He-Man comic. It's right here.
Yep.
New one. He-Man Thundercats #5. It's actually pretty cool. I'm really kind of getting sucked into it. It's very kind of not a hero, right? Right up my alley. In this one, it ends with them, Mumator or something he turns into. It's very Dragon Ball Z fusion. They fuse together. It's like going to be the final showdown. So it'd be super cheesy if He-Man and Lion-O, right? Helino or whatever they want to call him, right? Lion Man, I don't know. But if that happens, I will think it's super cornball and cheesy, but I won't be totally disappointed. So
Of course you wouldn't.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
But you know what'd be awesome, though, is if they did that, it'd be totally dual-wielding swords.
Yeah, right? Yes, they should. I'm into it. But I'm really curious. We'll see what happens with that. And the only other thing I did was I watched, I got like 5 episodes into Inuyasha again, because we talked so much. I kept talking all the crap about the Kuromakuro and the comparison. And I think the big difference, and the reason why I like Inuyasha so much better, is because it's the chick going to the like danger zone, right? As opposed to the guy bringing the danger zone to the chick. Like, it's just, she's kind of more the bumbling idiot as opposed to the guy you're supposed to think is the awesome badass is the bumbling idiot, right? Yeah. So it plays into that, appealing to me, again, totally makes it more Marcus episode, right?
Well, that and 3/4 of the way, I mean, it isn't until like the last third of the show that he finally like doesn't become a total a-hole.
Yeah.
You know, so he plays the total a-hole the whole way through.
Yes,
which
and I love
you
that.
totally love.
Yes, I do love that. If you're gonna be an asshole, own it, and he does. Yeah.
Oh yes.
So that's kind of where I ended up. Did you hit up anything major nerdy this week, other than your beer outing, which is nerdy, totally appropriate for the show?
Yes.
And I'm a little jealous because the beer part's my favorite part.
No, I didn't really do a whole lot this week. It was super nerdy. Unfortunately,
Because you've been working like a dog.
Yeah, working and other stuff. So
Yeah. Well, the one other thing that I know we both did
yeah.
was watch some Cowboy Bebop,
Oh yeah.
because it is our anime, because we're treating ourselves, right? Why not? We deserve to be pampered from time to time. We do all this work for everybody else out there.
I did get through like episode 7 in Japanese and go, this just doesn't feel the same.
I was going to ask you about that, actually.
And switched it back to English.
Yeah. I think the English voice actors for that show are so spot on. They really are.
For the main characters.
Yes.
All the side characters, though, bug me. In
Really?
English. Yeah.
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 Maybe is that almost Dragon Ball Z-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really
I
is.
totally prefer Vegeta in English.
Oh.
Right? You have
Vegeta
to.
and Goku both have to have them in English.
Yeah. Totally.
But,
Well, the instant I watched Cowboy Bebop, I was immediately in love again from that first episode. I think that first episode of Cowboy Bebop is one of the best Cowboy Bebop episodes out of the whole series. At least personally for me. It introduces all the characters so well when you don't know them at all yet, and you learn so much about them and like their different personalities, and it's so crammed with like with just awesome over-the-top action and gunplay, and just it's the first episode of that is really good.
And it's also one of the best. Well, it's far from the best because the best one's near the end of the series for the fighting, but the fist fighting. But
Yeah.
just the whole, you gotta stop trusting your eyes.
Yeah.
As he's dancing around.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just like-
And I love the way that Spike fights like that.
Yeah.
It totally is. You got to be fluid like water, man.
Yep.
Yeah. But that got me thinking that there's a lot of shows out there that have just a real kick-ass first episode. I
Yeah.
totally put Cowboy Bebop on that list. And so I thought maybe we could chat for a little bit
All right.
about shows that we think have really just out the gate, suck you in, bait that hook, awesome first episodes.
Okay.
So lay one on me.
Okay. Bait the hook, first episode, awesome. You brought that up as a topic to think about, and I got to first 3 days of sitting there thinking about it, all that was going through in my head was movies.
Oh,
It's
really?
like, dude, this was so awesome. Oh wait, that was a movie. And then this was that's a movie too. You know, and then I hit one.
Yeah.
I hit one, and it was totally the pilot for the series. Can you guess what it is?
I think so. Well, I cheated by
I
reading
know.
your list, but
Beforehand,
it totally makes sense. I
Yes.
don't think I would have thought of it without cheating, right? This is like Day
Yeah.
of the Tentacle, right?
Yeah.
But I completely agree with you.
Yeah, Stargate.
I think it's the... I mean, the rest are... I never got sucked into the shows, but I totally was a sucker for that first movie.
Yeah, that movie was amazing, and the
And
shows
again,
just
it's,
pick up straight.
It's Russell, isn't it? Is it Kurt Russell in that movie? The first one?
No, it's
Who's the main guy?
isn't it MacGyver?
No, that's the TV show.
It is a TV show.
I think it's Kurt Russell.
I have to go look back and look that up now.
Damn, we don't have our phone.
I don't.
I think it's Kurt. I'm going to say it. If I'm wrong, nerds, email me and send me some hate emails or something and tell us
Do
who
it.
it is. But I think it's Kurt Russell.
I don't think it is. But anyway,
Okay, maybe it's not.
but yeah, totally. That just the TV series picks up straight off of the movie
Yeah.
and just keeps running with it. It's just a pilot for the series, and it's the production value is almost.
Yeah.
so
It's totally true. And it but I got sucked into that movie.
did I.
Yeah. I had one I had some that are I mean definitely some animes because I was thinking about animes because
Yeah,
of the
that's
Cowboy Bebop.
what was predominantly in my mind,
Yeah.
and everything that I didn't think of with like I said, that was animes or movies.
Yeah. How about Modern Family? Do you ever watch that at all?
Modern Family, no. Yes, I did watch the first couple episodes of Modern Family.
I love that first episode of
was-
Modern Family. It's so
That was pretty good.
I love that when he's shooting at everybody with his little airsoft gun, and so they warn him to quit doing it or he's gonna get in trouble, and like the dad's gonna shoot him, right? And so he finally does shoot like his sister or something and gets busted, and so his dad's like, all right, well, I made a promise, I'm gonna shoot you with it now. And his dad has the hardest time shooting his son with this airsoft gun, but the family has like so much chaos going on in that first episode that the whole family has to go to the calendar and schedule in the week when they're gonna shoot him with the airsoft gun because it's so chaotic. Like there's
Forgot
so many,
about that.
There's so many great things in that first episode. It's so good. I think it's awesome.
Totally forgot about that.
I love it when they're all leaned over on the calendar. It's like, well, I could shoot him Tuesday. No, you can't do that. The girl's got to do this thing. Well, okay, about Wednesday. No, that won't. Okay, we'll shoot him on Thursday at this time. And he's just sitting there going, no. It's pretty good.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. I think that this shows it's kind of petering out a little bit,
Yeah.
but that really the first like 3 seasons of that show are awesome. They're really good.
Nice.
Totally worth checking out.
Nice. So I gotta say another one. It's kind of a duh.
Yeah.
Firefly.
Really? See, I put it out there, I tweeted it out there, and actually had Josh.
I was going to tweet that back.
Yeah.
But Josh's tweet with the GIF was so much better.
Really?
Because I was just gonna say Firefly and exclamation points, and
Yeah.
he put the actual like the gun sweep
Yes.
scene. I'm like, okay, dude, I can't top that.
Yeah, and I think I'm probably gonna get a lot of crap for this, but for me it's not that way. I watched that first episode of Firefly and I was kind of like, what is this like just beyond cheesy show? Like this is so low budget and terrible. And then whoever I was watching it with was like, come on, we'll watch another episode. And
Don't tell me the train heist is the one that got you in.
I don't remember exactly the moment when I latched on, but there was totally a moment watching that show. It wasn't the first episode, but that suddenly I was like, all right, I get it, and I love this show, and I was so hooked. And I've seen the series through multiple times, right? Well, it's not that long, but I For me, it wasn't that way at the beginning.
Yeah.
It took me a couple episodes to warm up to it.
Did you hear, though? Fox has said they'd be open to doing it again now.
Really?
On one stipulation.
Okay, lay it on me.
Joss Whedon comes back.
I think that's great. One of my favorite things about Firefly is, well, it's hands down him, and it's that that theme song is as much a baby to him as the whole show. Like, I think that theme song sums up what you're in store for.
Yeah, take me where I can.
I love that that song is that he wrote that song. It's so great.
Boil sea.
Yeah. It sets the whole tone. It really does. It's done so well.
Well, it's the sad violin. That's what does it.
Yeah.
They could have said whatever, they could have said pizza and popcorn and whatever, and as long as they had that sad violin going, man.
But those lyrics are great.
They are.
It's so good. That is one of my standout favorite things about Firefly is I don't ever skip it. I always watch the opening scene to Firefly because the song is muddy.
It's so simple.
What are you in store for? Another 20 minutes of this. That's pretty sweet. So I have another one, another live action, Workaholics.
Oh, okay. That was pretty good.
That first episode is, I still think it's the best episode of all of them. I mean, Poop Dollar, come on. That was so great. I love it. So that one's really good. I'm also a big fan of Flight of the Conchords.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was actually talking with somebody at work yesterday about Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
Completely unrelated to this, but yeah.
Yeah. And that one totally sucked. That first episode, I was sold. And they just keep going after that. Those are really good.
Mm-hmm.
You got another one? Lay it on me.
Live action? I only have one, the 4400.
Oh, really? I started watching it, but I haven't finished it.
I liked the very first episode, totally sucked me in, and then it lost me about, I'd say, third of the way into the show.
Yeah.
And I did finish it out, because I started.
Maybe that's what ended up happening with me, too.
But that first episode totally sucked me in.
Yeah. That makes me think, actually, one that I just now thought of was Jericho. Have you seen Jericho?
Mm-mm.
Jericho is such a good... It's very kind of Firefly-esque, but like post like nuclear kind of Holocaust. With this one little town that happens to be like with the wind, the way the wind works and everything. They're in this valley to where the fallout doesn't hit them.
Oh, okay.
So they're the one town that survives, and so they've got to now fend themselves from the rest of the world. It's like all apocalyptic chaos, but it's pretty good. It's super cheesy.
So I just thought another one that was the first episode was awesome, and that was Justified.
Justified is pretty good. I would give you that.
That first
one, yeah.
episode was money.
Yeah, and I really actually like Justified. 90% of Justified I think is really good. There's some stuff that kind of starts to come up that's so-so, but I think that one's pretty good all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one I actually watched this week. I watched it at lunch, and I'm going to get back. I watched much TV this week.
I thought you were working all week.
I know. I just came home every day, and I either played Not a Hero or I watched TV because I was burnt out from work, right? If I couldn't do this, I watched something on TV. Okay. For those of you listening, I'm moving my button thumbs.
Yep.
The other one I did watch was Better Off Ted. If you have not seen Better Off Ted, you have to watch that show. I have not seen Better Off Ted. That show is so good. It's so absurdly, ridiculously cheesy. I almost think it was like a little bit ahead of its time. It's pretty good. But you were mentioning, we were talking about the 4400, how they petered out for you. And I have a few that are amazing first episodes, but I've got so burnt out on the show. Like they hooked me in right away.
I got Black Lagoon for that.
Really? And you're such a fan.
Oh, I love Black Lagoon. It does kind of peter out partway through. It gets better at the very end.
Yeah.
But in the middle section there, it almost lost me.
Yeah. It kind of started to lose me a little bit too.
And with the last iteration of it, the Roberta's Blood Trail, I finished it, but I had to work to do it. And it was just
Yeah. For me, the biggest issue with that was I was waiting for Revy and what's the other guy? Oh, with their little, it's like I secretly love you and want you, but not really, and so we're gonna banter all the time. It's like, just do it. We guys just do it already.
Well,
so
they actually say that in the show too.
Yeah,
eventually.
Yeah. For me, Mad Men Have you watched Mad
I
Men?
have not seen Mad Men.
I think that first episode is so good. The first season actually is really good, and then it gets all weird and crazy, and I quit caring. I think my wife watched all of it, and I just quit watching it. But the first one's really good. Dexter, same way.
Haven't seen Dexter either.
I own the first season, and that's it, because I think that's all people should watch. It gets terrible. It has such a great beginning. The pacing through that whole first episode is really good, and then it ends in such a sweet, like, closure way. It's not a cliffhanger for the next season at all. It just ends and sums up the whole season in his little world of crazy, and it's so good. And so you don't even have to watch season 2 at all. Season 2 kind of picks up with this, with a little bit of new stuff, and then you start getting cliffhangers for each season, and I got burnt out. I think it ends terribly, but that season 1, totally worth watching. It's where it's at. And then my last one, which the whole world's going to hate me for saying, I've said it a million times, Game of Thrones. Same thing. I think season 1 is so good, and I loved every bit of it. I was on the edge of my seat, and then I did that halfway through season 2, and I was like, nothing's happened. It's going to happen, though. I got like another 3 episodes, and I kept watching, and it was like, nothing happened, man. So you get to season 3, halfway through, nothing's really happened. They're all talking a bunch, but nothing's happening.
Well, there's many... Okay, because there's so many story arcs in that, there is... Every season, there's closure to one of those arcs. At least one of them.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. I couldn't... It doesn't make sense to me.
And yes, it opens up 3 more
Yeah, right? It just doesn't end.
things, you know.
But that first one and the way they shock you at the end of that first season,
Yeah.
blew me away. I never saw that coming. Like, it was awesome. And so I have nothing bad to say about season 1 of Game of Thrones. I got some crap to say about the rest of it.
I don't know. I like it, so...
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
You're a little more approving of some of the drama stuff, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's done well, I really like good drama.
Yeah.
So... what else you got?
Pretty much the rest of mine are just some animes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I got.
I got Big O. Huge fan at the beginning of
good.
Big O. It kind of peters out that second season, but that first episode totally hooks you and sucks you in really well. Very Batman animated series-esque. Kind of hooked you that same way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does. And I had original Voltron.
Man, it's so long since I've watched the original one.
Yeah.
And I remember it as a kid doing that. Boy, I'd have to go back and watch it again. Does it even hold up?
I went back and watched it. It's slow by today's standards, very slow by today's standards. But the nostalgia of it, I still was just like starry-eyed schoolgirl. Like, this is so cool watching it. And I went back, and so I found it as Go Lion as well, and which is just on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
And I watched the Go Lion version of it and totally saw how they changed it. And I really got to say, I like the American cut way better. It's a much more cohesive story. Yeah, in some parts of it, yeah.
I think I'd have to watch it again, I think. But I remember loving Voltron as a kid.
I think they created a little bit stronger connection to the character in the way that they edited it for the American cut. Because they completely changed the story.
Yeah.
In Voltron versus Go Lion.
I'd heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of
it's the same animation, but it's completely just recut different for everything, and it's completely different stories.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've never seen Go Lion.
Yeah, you should check it out.
I would check it out. I'll have to check it. I'm curious to watch a Voltron again too.
Yeah.
See if I'm sure that I would get bit by the nostalgic bug too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I totally loved it. The whole sneaking out of the castle prison and the catching the condors and flying out and then landing in the pea soup fog and that was
I was a huge Voltron fan, and I loved the the continuing story arc. It was really cool. It was one of the first times I'd really been exposed to that. Other than that, the one of the other kind of along those lines, especially throwbacks to when we were kids, right? Most of our American cartoons, when they started out, you would get that really awesome miniseries at the beginning, where it'd be like a little 2 or 3, maybe even 4 episode little story arc that was like that, where it was a continual story with to be continues, and then after that they just kind of went into episodes that didn't that you could watch them in whatever order, right? But I was always a huge fan of those. Like the G.I. Joe one, I loved that one. Transformers was that way. Thundercats is that way. Like they're all even Ninja Turtles was that way. I think it's like the first 2 or 3 episodes are all one where they meet April and they kind of fight Shredder for the first time, and like all that happens with all those shows. I was a huge fan. I think even into like when there was like Disney Afternoon and you get those shows, even those ones started out that way with like little continual stories for the first few episodes.
Yeah.
I think it was like their way to like test the market to see what the response was on them. But I was always a huge fan of that. And then they always kind of petered out for me a little bit after that. So that was, for me, that was a huge thrill when I discovered anime. That you're always on the edge of your seat and wanting more because they're constantly leaving you with a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know how you with sequential story, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You gotta follow. Yeah. Totally sucked me in on that. Love it.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. It's
one of the most appealing qualities about it for me. Well, if it's good. If it's not good, then it's like it's a detriment to the series. But that kind of goes without saying. The last couple I had were totally One Punch Man. I was a sucker for that show the instant I watched season 1. Again, because it's like, this is what you're going to get. It's like that theme song for Firefly. It's like, hey, watch 5 minutes and you know what the whole season's going to be like. And I loved it. It was so good. And that's one you have to watch in Japanese. Have you seen that English dubbed at all?
Which one?
The One Punch Man.
No,
it's
I haven't.
like on it's like on Toonami or like a Cartoon Network channel or something. And I caught it one evening. It's horrible.
Really?
The one guy, like even in Japanese, what is he, Saita Man or whatever? He's this bumbling idiot, right? And you get that in the Japanese one. So they don't need to give him this beyond bumbly idiot voice in the English one. They make him. It's like when you see Krillin in the English version versus the Japanese version, right? He comes across as such a bigger idiot, and it was
so
abrasive.
many times you see that, and it's that I think it was just a curse of the, I'm gonna say 80s and 90s voice acting. Mm-hmm. That's what the staple became when they did it.
Yeah,
because I did not like it, and that's what I liked about the Dragon Ball Z for the most part. Is the English voice actors took that seriously. They took their roles seriously. They played them with a serious inflection. It wasn't just the standard one person doing 9 different voices and making them each one cheesier and dumber.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Well, and I think it adds to the like the individuality between the characters. Like you're saying, it's not that same voice actor. The voice actor can really commit to the role, and like they kind of become that character.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which I'm a big fan of.
And speaking of like the back to the bring us back to Voltron.
Yeah.
One of the biggest differences that just popped in my head was Go Lion and Voltron. The sequence where they come up and form.
Yeah.
They recut that and extended that out a little bit in the English version. And
I'm all over that.
And
extend the eye candy.
And when they come together, he goes, bing. And they totally have the metallic ring out. They don't have that in the Go Lion.
Oh.
Totally missed that. And then all 4 lions growl as they cut to each one. They didn't do that in Go Lion.
Weird. So those were like actually made sequences to.
Well, no, the sequences happened. They happened faster in Go Lion.
Yeah.
And they just didn't have all the extra sound effects that they added in for the English version.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have Americans have such a sweet like a sweet tooth for eye candy.
And Foley artists.
Yeah.
Good Foley artists.
Yeah.
Voice actors suck, but the Foley artists are awesome.
Yeah. I just have a couple more animes I think are totally worth watching. If you like that first episode, you're going to love it. Is Afro Samurai, Outlaw Star, and Coyote Ragtime Show.
Outlaw Star. That was awesome.
That's one of the best. Again, it's almost like a Cowboy Bebop. It's one of the best episodes in the series is that first one.
Yeah, I can't believe I spaced that one. That was freaking awesome.
And that's such a like retro-y classic one. To me, it's almost like that. It's almost one of those anime like sleeper hits. Like I think there's a lot of people that, if you're much younger than we are, people haven't seen Outlaw Star.
Yeah,
that seems to be the response I get anyway. But it's totally worth it, especially if you like that kind of Cowboy Bebop-ish feel. It's right up that alley.
And I watched it immediately following Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Because they didn't they have it on Toonami?
I think maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did. Because I watched Cowboy Bebop the first time on Toonami, and then I think Outlaw Star was on.
Yeah. Well, and we will review Cowboy Bebop at the end of the month and totally get into some more stuff. I've totally been writing down some notes and some things I keep. I'm just loving it though. It was such a sweet treat to do for ourselves. I love pampering ourselves.
I forgot how much I loved Vicious character though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I do like that guy. He
Yeah.
is so ruthless.
Yeah, and when I love just their banter, just the way the team of the people is so cool. It's done so well. And Ed is less abrasive this time.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Ed.
I mean, I like Ed a
always
lot,
liked Ed.
but I found she was a little abrasive the first time.
Yeah.
No.
She was, but and back to the whole annoying voice actor thing.
Yeah.
That's the way I took it the first time, but by the end of the series, it totally fits the character.
Yeah.
I don't think they did a bad job with that.
No. Actually, really, for me, the standout, kind of annoying voice is totally Ein. Ein sound. Why is it the same exact bark sound every time that dog barks? Like, they couldn't come up with like 3 or 4.
Oh my
it's
God.
always the same sound. And it never, I don't know, it just doesn't seem appropriate.
Wow.
And is it the same sound? I have to watch it in Japanese now to see if it's the same bark sound.
It's probably a person going bark.
Yeah, it always cracks me up whenever you, like, I can't remember what any of the animal sounds were, but when I took German in high school, and you go through and, like, learn animal sounds, and I always thought it's weird that in other languages, animals make different sounds. They say it a different way, or it's like,
Yeah.
but what do you mean? Why, it never makes that sound? They don't speak languages. I don't know. I always thought that was weird. A dog always goes bark, okay?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, right. So I don't know. Those are some of my favorite first episodes. They're all totally worth watching. Check them out.
Yeah. And then just a side note, I had basically all the Netflix Marvel series.
Yeah, they do a pretty good job of sucking you in, and I think it's especially. I would even say especially that Luke Cage. Like Luke Cage got worse as it went on. I thought
It did, but the Luke Cage had the benefit of being introduced in another show.
Yeah, totally.
So
I think really all of them after that first season of Daredevil kind of had a little bit of that leeway. It's like you were already sort of knew what to expect a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of shows, I recently heard that Costume Quest is going to be an animated series on Amazon, and I'm totally obsessed with Costume Quest. It's one of my. It's like every Halloween I play Costume Quest, and I love it. It's so good.
I have yet to play Costume Quest.
Oh, you gotta play it. It's so good, man. It really is. What Costume Quest to me is the Fun with Weapons episode from South Park.
Oh, okay.
Right? Which is hands down my favorite South Park episode. I love how every time they become the warriors or whatever, it totally goes into their imagination and they're just like super badass and ripped like action heroes. And then somebody gets hurt and they're suddenly kids again and don't know what to do and where's the adults, right? And it's so awesome how reality hits their fantasy. And Costume Quest is the exact same. The best parts of that game are when you go to fight someone and they morph into their like superhero version of their costumes. And it's awesome. When you're like one of the costumes is I think it's Abe Lincoln, and you think, why do I even care? Why would I want Abe Lincoln? But the instant you use his the instant you use his like superpower, you know why you want to be Abe Lincoln. It involves like eagles and big American flags and fireworks and like it's awesome.
Have you seen the Freddie W clip? 8-bit version of 8-bit game version of Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter? Oh, it's hilarious. So they totally took the synopsis for the movie, condensed it into what an 8-bit side-scrolling game would be.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you have to. It's hilarious.
It sounds right up my alley.
Yes.
It sounds very not a hero, right? Marcus game.
Yep.
The Costume Quest show is supposed to come out 2018 sometime. They didn't say when. I thought an interesting side note is that it's being done by the same studio that's animating the Castlevania Netflix series.
Oh, nice.
That we just talked about. So I thought it was worth noting. I'm really skeptical about it. I have such a love for the game that I'm afraid it could be ruined.
The director is supposedly going to be the Adventure Time guy.
Yes.
And I know you don't like Adventure Time.
I don't hate Adventure Time. I think I might prefer Adventure Time over the what is it, the Rick and Morty? Is that right? Or
Rick and Morty?
Yeah, I think I might actually prefer it over that. People hate me again already. I know. Yeah. I can tell. I can feel it.
Rick and Morty solely for the banter.
Yes.
That's all you watch that for.
And it's so much yelling. Again, that's what drives me nuts. Is it's just overbearing yelling. But the other thing I thought is weird is that in the game there's no talking. There isn't dialogue in the game. So it's like the Americanized anime where this is totally going to depend on these voice actors and how they play these characters, because if they ruin the character, I wish they just wouldn't talk at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with it. I'm skeptical. Another TV news.
Okay.
Speaking of shows.
Alrighty.
Kevin Smith is working on a new show for the BBC, and it's going to be based on two popular Spawn characters that originated as guest stars in the Spawn series.
Mm-hmm.
Sam and Twitch, who are NYPD homicide detectives, and they'd kind of help out Spawn and give him whatever info and stuff, right? And but later on, because they kind of got their own little cult following, clearly, they got their own series.
Weird, okay.
So you can actually go get just Sam and Twitch comics if you want.
Okay.
But Kevin Smith is going to be writing it, directing it, and producing it.
How did I not know this?
Right? And
seriously, how did I not know this?
I don't know. I'm glad I could bring some Kevin Smith news that you didn't know. I'm actually really excited about this. I think it's it has a lot of potential.
Spawn is one of the few comics that I know hardly anything about, other than I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
I guess it's nothing to do with the actual comic.
Yeah, for me, again, it's like that right when Spawn got really popular. Again, that's like right at that era when I started to trickle out of comics, right?
Mm.
You know, girls started becoming a bigger interest to me than guys in tight leotards. So
I kind of viewed Spawn the way you view the Deadpool.
I did a little bit too. That kind of turned me off on it a little bit. Well, there were other Todd McFarlane things that I really liked, like one of the Spider-Man series that I got way into. He did, I think it's the first year of that comic. He was the artist for it, and I loved it. And there's like some other crossover issues where Spider-Man's in them and stuff, and some Venom stuff that I was a huge fan of Todd McFarlane for all that. And then he kind of went on and did his own thing and created Spawn, which I give him total props for because it's like his baby, right? Like he created it, because it's almost like the what's the movie? The guy, the DC director, Zack Snyder, the one that we like. Yeah. She dances, crazy in her head.
Oh, you're talking about
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. Yeah.
There it is. Hey, it's right there. It reminds me of that, though. It's like his baby thing that he made because he wanted to make his own thing because he was so inspired by all this other stuff, right? So I totally acknowledge it for that. But I'm really curious. I think it has so much potential to maybe be really good, especially because he's writing it.
I had a question for you, and that totally derailed me on that now.
Sorry.
Anyway. Oh, yeah. How far did you read on those Old Man Logan comics?
I finished them.
You did?
I sat down and binged read them.
So how'd you like the Venom dinosaur?
I thought that was awesome, actually. I thought so much of it was awesome. And I think next episode, because it's the one before we go see the movie, because we're going to go see that movie, we should totally Logan it up. And I want to talk about Old Man Logan and talk about little things I noticed and saw in it and banter with you.
I'm sure you're going to notice a heck of a lot more than I did.
I might even read some of it again. I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's I don't even know that I want to read the rest of it.
Read the rest of it?
Like, read anything, because I know that there's some other, like, I think there is. I was looking into it. I think there's some, like, spin-off stuff from it.
From it? Oh, okay.
Maybe not. I'll look into it again. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But I was sold. I think it's really, really good.
Yeah.
On so many levels. We'll get into it.
I really like the Venom dinosaur.
Yeah. So lastly, a little bit of game news. Sony has kicked their support for their PlayStation Now, other than PS4 and PC. And the other big news, which will happen on most devices, will drop off on August 15th, and then all devices will drop by April 1st. And
Crazy. That's fast.
That is pretty fast. And then the other news they came out with is that they've filed a patent for a new handheld, which is very Switch-esque. Yes. Yeah. And so, first off, the handheld, you better put some damn analog clicky buttons on there and put the other shoulder buttons. If you don't do that, Sony, I give up. I'm done with handhelds, and I will totally shun you for that.
No, you'll buy a Switch. You'll show them.
Yeah, right. That's all. That should be how I show them, right? But if you make it so I could just like play my PlayStation 4 games like a normal game on it, I will go out and buy it that day. I will reserve that copy. Totally will, and I want one. But that's my major stipulation. I want all the buttons there. And it looks weird because, at least in the patent, it shows a really clear square screen. Obviously, this square screen. And it looks like a PlayStation 4 controller that somebody just went, yeah, right down the middle, and they glued them to the sides.
Exactly.
Which, actually, I'm stoked for, because I want to be able to wrap my hands around it and not hold this weird square block.
Okay.
Right? So if I can actually curl my hands around and hold it like just a wider controller, I'm totally fine with that. So, based on the sketches and stuff, it's got potential. Whether it'll ever even happen, who knows? I know they've filed patents for other handhelds before, but this is the most promising one. I do think it's really weird.
I like the screen size.
Yeah.
That's what...
It looks very Switch-esque, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. I don't know that the controllers come off or anything.
Didn't look like they came off in the picture.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty rudimentary picture, so...
Yeah, right. It's clearly an idea, proposal for the patent. But I think it's weird that came out so soon before the Switch, right? Or it's like the Switch is right around the corner.
Yeah.
And that came out, plus that they're dumping all this streaming support and downloadable support, and we just got announced that our next update will have hard drive support.
Yep.
Right? So what's going to happen with PlayStation Now? Could they get more into the even more backwards compatibility and be able to actually download games to an external hard drive? And I don't know, that there's potential there, I think.
Oh, do like Microsoft?
Almost more, yeah, like what Xbox is doing.
I would. That'd be awesome.
I think that all these things point to there's potentially something right on the horizon for Sony that's gonna come out, and if this new handheld will work and have those buttons so you can play your PlayStation 4 games, because you can already do that on your Vita. It's just really crappy, right? But if they can clean that up and have it support better for the connecting better with the buttons and everything,
you'll never sleep again.
I'm sold, man. Yeah, I'll never sleep again. I'll just have weird, crazy raccoon eyes and in front of a screen all the time. The only time I won't is when I transition to the next screen.
yeah, you'll be like, as you put it down, pick up your eye drops.
Yeah, right. Eye drops and Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew. And then beer, Mountain Dew, beer, Mountain Dew. I gotta balance it so I don't, not too up and not too down.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act. I gotta juggle my ratios. But I thought those were worth noting because, again, I think they point to that something's on the horizon for Sony, and it's really coincidental. These things are for other announcements for other systems that have gone on. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep my eye on it though, so I'll let you know if I hear anything else.
All right.
The last one I put on here just for you, Jay, because to be honest with you, I don't care at all. But Dirt 4 will have a custom stage creator, and it'll be called Your Stage.
Yep.
And I believe it will have 5 different terrains, 5 different countries that you can set it up in.
5 countries,
Is
and
that right?
Then multiple different options for weather and length and
difficult, as far as angle of turns and stuff.
Yeah, number and severity of corners.
Yeah. So, which you won't. I think it's misleading a little bit that they call it a custom stage creator because.
Yeah, no, you don't edit it yourself. It's procedure generated.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's cool. The only my complaint is like I've said how many times about rally games, if they're gonna realize that customizing the tracks is a benefit for the game, where's my car customization?
And kind of funny you were talking about that, because I was thinking about in the real life how we do it. You know, the racers that you see in that are the top 0.5% of people racing rally.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are sponsored, and they're the ones that you see, and those are the cars that you're getting into. You know, and that you get to race in this game. But you know, one of the benefits of your Forzas or your Gran Turismos or other stuff like that is you start out at a low level and you work your way up.
Yeah.
You know, you buy a junk car, you fix it up, you get it up, and it's
always that gamble between like, do I save my money and get the nicer car, or do I spend my money on the parts for my car that's not as quite as nice as the car I want, right?
Yeah.
You always are doing that. Yeah.
Yep. Until you hit that point where it's like, meh.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
But so with this whole like the procedurally generated track and stuff, you could totally have it set up like local rally stuff. So it's all in these different countries, but yeah, you got some easier, shorter tracks, and it's your novice rally. You get stuck with this, even if it's just rally cars that are homologation cars.
Yeah.
Right. So like in the instance that I have, I've got an XR4 Ti, which is a Ford Sierra, and that was a homologation car for the Sierra RS or the Cosworth RS, which was Ford's rally car in the mid to late 80s.
Yeah.
And so you buy the homologation car, and you can now outfit that out as a rally car, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I'm totally said when I actually get out on stage, it's not gonna be fully ready. You know, I mean, it's not gonna be fully as reinforced as it needs to be. It's gonna be a trial by take it out and break it, and then figure out where it needs to be fixed.
Well, and I get the impression that unless you're that 0.5%, that is the life of a rally person, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
It's like you're doing a race and then you're spending 90% of your time
and money
fixing the car again. Yeah, right. Yeah, because that's what rally is beating the hell out of your car.
Yes, it is, and it's and like I said, and most people, like I said, they only do 2-3 rallies.
Yeah.
You know, I think in the Northwest here, we're lucky to have, we've got 3 in Washington, 1 in Oregon. And I don't think the one in Idaho is there anymore. So we got 4 races local that we can run.
Yeah.
At the regional level.
If you don't break your car.
Yeah, and only 2 of those are national events. So they're going to have the big names.
Yeah.
Come through on them, but they're low level national events, and a lot of people like the national circuits just avoid ones that they don't care about unless they need the points.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
All right, well, I have one more rally complaint, but it's my turn to go pee now. All right, I'm back. I'm lighter, better than ever. So my last complaint about rally games. Will they put music in it? Will you please just put some music in the game? I know I won't be able to hear my co-driver, but I don't care. I just want music.
Well, that's the premise of rally racing is the co-driver.
Yeah, I know, I get it. But just include it as an option. They won't do it, huh?
I doubt it. I highly doubt that's going to happen.
It'd probably be music I hate anyway. It'd be all that motocross. I used to love it in high school, but we've matured since then and acquired new appreciation for real music.
Yeah. Yeah. Question is, though, will I buy this game?
Yeah, that is the ultimate. I'm not gonna.
I want to, but I don't think I'm gonna buy any racing games. I mean, they've just advanced to the point where you need a good quality wheel and you need a good setup to run it.
What if it's Burnout?
Yeah, that's an arcade style. So.
Yeah, it's very arcade style.
You know, arcade's different.
Okay,
but
we'll just keep racing GTA. Yeah,
there you go.
At least until you get the wheel.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying seriously. Like, if you want to get into a true simulator style racing game,
yeah,
you need the simulator setup.
Well, and I think that included in that set, I think if you're gonna go as far as spending, what is it, $500 on like a nice wheel, it's something absurd, right? Like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, and if I'm doing that, I'm buying a PS4 Pro and I'm getting the VR.
Oh yeah, so you can just sit there. Well, and then why wouldn't you also go as far as getting like a racing seat.
Oh no,
and
totally.
Like cutting out this little box that you can actually sit in and put your VR on and hold the wheel.
It's totally going to be a racing seat. It's totally going to be actual pedals. It's totally with the shifter in the proper location. Yeah, no, it's.
And to be honest with you, that's probably way cheaper than your real life rally car. You think? What if it cost you a couple grand to get totally set up? It's still cheaper.
That's what I've got into my rally car right now.
except you can race this a lot more than twice a year.
And I still got probably a couple grand to go on my
Yeah.
just to get it to a competition.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Plus, if you get the other one, I could drive. You don't want me to drive your $4,000 rally car.
Why not?
Okay, sweet, sold.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, why not? I'll co-drive for you.
It'll be like
You're not going to listen anyway.
It'll be like that. Yeah, right. What? But you turn the tunes down. Ride them hard and fast, right?
Well, that ended quickly.
Yeah.
DNF. We can't make the next season because we rolled the car, ripped
we
the
had a
fender
blast
off.
doing it.
Never mind, we killed a spectator with the tire.
Those psycho spectators. There better be some sort of waiver, so that's not on me. Those guys are insane. So, the one last thing I did want to talk about that we always mention is our GTA Tuesday.
Yep.
Speaking of racing and having fun.
In
Total
this case,
arcade.
it was GTA Monday, but yeah.
Yeah, it was because it was Valentine's Day. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I had an awesome Valentine's Day. You know, I actually noticed the best thing about Valentine's Day was Facebook. Facebook is so positive on Valentine's Day. It's all these happy pictures of couples and everything. And then as soon as Valentine's Day was over, I had like immediately on Facebook feed, I bet 5 in a row of just all this political garbage.
Oh, I've blocked all the political garbage.
That's what's gonna happen. I
block
feel
all-
bad because I like the other things these people post, but I can't handle it anymore.
I don't block the people. It's just each individual. Every time a political post comes up, I block it. Whether I agree with what's being said or disagree with what's being said,
Yeah.
I just block it. I don't need that on my post. I just don't.
Right? It's not what I want to wake up to.
Yeah.
But I was actually, again, from the guy that's not into the love octagons
Yes.
and drama, I was actually pretty stoked with it on Valentine's Day.
Well, I gotta say, being single, it kind of sucks.
Ladies. But I thought it was cool. A quick note about GTA. It was the 3rd highest selling game of January still, right?
Since 3 years
it came out in 2013. So far, they have sold 75 million copies, and according to Wikipedia, it is the 4th top-selling game ever. And the only ones that are behind is number 3, Wii Sports, which I also totally recommend. It's an awesome game. Came free. Where's the free game for our Switch? Number 2, Minecraft. I've never played it. Don't really know.
I don't either.
And the one I'm sure you and me are guilty of putting countless hours into this game is Tetris.
Yes.
But even to consider...
That was the second game I had on my NES was Tetris.
Yeah.
And it was the only game my dad would play with me.
Yeah, that was kind of the scenario I would have too. It was like the game that would sell your parents on the system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It made it the family system. But even to consider GTA 5 as a contender running with those games is pretty sweet. So I was blown away that it's the 4th highest ever and the 3rd highest still of last month. And I don't think last month was like a sale month, at least like on PSN.
No.
So I think whatever those people were paying full price last month for that game still. So that's crazy. But
and that means it's still selling, which means it still could outsell.
yeah, no, it's still selling good. I mean, clearly really good numbers because the highest game last month was Resident Evil, which came out last month. So of course it's going to be the highest selling, right? So I mean, to even contend with that like that, it's just insane to me. But I get it because it's awesome and we play every Tuesday. So friend ultraradnes with 1 S and come play some GTA with us on Tuesday.
Definitely do it.
Yes, you can be an ass, just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
It's the one rule. So on that note, let's get to this beer wrap up since you finished your beer already.
I finished it. I was almost going to say, do you need to take a break and go get the third one? But time-wise just said no.
Yeah, we're already here.
Yeah.
I clearly talked way too much.
You did. Or I just liked this
As
too much.
usual, right? So what was your end thoughts? Any thoughts? You know what that's from? Like that? I've only got one thought. If I say the next line, you'll know. This guy knows where Splinter is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Any thoughts? All right, so lay it
Oh,
on me.
Raph. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's incredibly well brewed. It's
really good.
yeah, it's crisp. It's clean. It's
Is it
I don't know. It's solid all the way through.
is it wrong of me to say that I like it a little bit better as it warmed up?
No, not at all.
I think it was actually better. The second half of my 22 here.
It brings the body out a little bit.
Yeah.
All the aromas grow. No, it's totally better.
I almost feel like the bite, the hoppy bite of it, subsided a
At
little
the beginning,
bit.
the very initial,
Yeah.
but that's going to subside just from drinking it.
Yeah.
Because
You just get used to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, totally. It opens up so much more when you drink it a little.
Yeah,
more.
the rest of the flavors, like kind of
Yeah.
the full profile, really
the body
just
of it
like
really grows.
oh, it just like dances on your tongue now. I
Yeah.
love it.
Is good.
I'm really pretty pleased. I have to say, like I always really liked Rogue beers. I've never had really anything bad to say about Rogue beers, but now that we've drank them for the past 3 episodes, I have this whole new respect for Rogue. I
Yeah.
really do. These beers are done. You constantly have the comment of attenuated, right?
Yeah, they're fully fermented out.
They really are. Like again, it's like I feel like it's like the guy that you met who's got the book knowledge down and it's just the sheer skills of it all, right? And these guys have it, but they're also breaking the mold a little bit and establishing their own molds here.
They are.
Which I think that guy will probably come around to it. But man, they've just.
Oh yeah,
I'm really impressed.
That said, though, like most of my experiences with Rogue are their more off the wall stuff.
Yeah.
So I never really placed them in my top. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna have a Rogue beer today.
Yeah.
And then the Dead Guy Ale. I like Dead Guy Ale, but it's not really one of my favorite beers.
Yeah, I don't really think of that as it's not a standout to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the one that's available everywhere. And like, don't get me wrong, it's a good beer. It's just it's not my beer.
Yeah.
And but no, it's as I've been drinking their other stuff here, and it's doing real good. I'm really liking it. The Hazelnut Choctabulous, that's not gonna. I'll have one here and there, but it's not gonna be something.
It's like a special occasion beer. Again, if you have something important to do, but you could stop in and have a beer real quick somewhere, it's almost more along that kind of a line sort of beer for me, right?
Yeah.
It's not the I'm not gonna sit
I'm
down
gonna
and drink a
myself.
bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a treat beer. You're not gonna. I just feel like you would so regret it if you drank too much of that, man.
Oh yeah.
You just feel like garbage the next day.
Well, you can't have all that ice cream with it.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, just making it worse, right? Really setting yourself up. No, I'm totally impressed. I really like it. The only knock I would give it is the percentage, but because it all rounds out so beautifully, it's totally fine.
Yeah, and
I love it.
I'm more than okay with a 5% or slightly less beer.
Yeah.
It, like I said, puts it in the session status. You can totally enjoy more than one, and then decide, I want that third.
Yeah.
And do it.
Nice. I like that we went from 1 to 3.
Yeah,
There's no 2.
No, you can have that. You can try that one, have 2, but 1 or 2, and then I didn't realize I didn't say 2. I thought it. Trust me, I did. But exactly.
2's a gimme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. But but no, seriously, it's really good. And like I said, the malt body comes out. It's almost a little bit of fruity flavors, but it's definitely more of the piney and grassy.
Yeah.
And a little bit of citrus, but more piney grassy.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm gonna give it. Man. I think I'm gonna give it a 7.25.
7.25. I'm going 7.5.
Oh, nice. Okay, I like it. We're in the same wheelhouse.
Yep.
So next week, we get to round out our Rogue beers.
We do.
It'll be our last one for their. I mean, I'm sure we'll come back. I'm totally impressed, and I will totally venture down this road again. But this session, we're gonna round it up with one more.
Yep.
Lay it on us.
We're having the Old Crustacean barley wine.
Yeah.
The Big
a little
Daddy.
bit scared.
10%. It's supposed to be hoppier than most barley wines. It says it in the description. So I think it's actually going to be better, and it's not going to be quite as...
We're going to be like buzzed and a half.
if we each drink a 750, yes, we certainly will be.
That's all right. We're going to get buzzed and a half. We're going to talk some Logan. We have Horizon Zero Dawn that comes out the next week after that.
So
I
excited.
already pre-ordered mine. Did you pre-order yours?
I pre-ordered mine like a year and a half ago.
Nice. First E3 trailer.
It's soon. Yeah, I did.
The nice thing for me is because I have this crazy show at work, I get that Tuesday off. I'm going to do nothing but crack out, and my wife does her after work thing that day, so I get until like 11 o'clock that night to just play games.
Nice.
Awesome. Stoked. But yes, the Old Court Station.
Yep. Totally
into it. I'm a little bit scared about the barley wine because they're super sweet.
They tend to be.
But the hoppy might bring me back around. We'll see.
Yeah. I said I read the descriptions on it. I read the origins on it. It was totally a homebrew beer that started one of the beers that started Rogue. So.
Oh, nice. So it's got some deep roots.
Yes.
I like it. Okay, cool.
Well, it was brought back after they started Rogue, but he totally brewed it as a homebrew, and they liked it a lot.
All right, I'm into it.
One was, yeah. So.
Yeah. I will say, I think that so far, especially the ones that we've had, it seems like when they brewed these beers, they went into it with a certain intention, and they nailed it.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Like, that is what's really impressive about these. Even the Chalk Tabulous. It's not a beer that necessarily speaks to us, but I totally hear what it's saying. And it speaks totally clearly, right? It's just not
It went in saying, we want to make Nutella.
Yeah, right?
In a beer.
And they totally did. And they nailed it, right? So I'm really, really impressed with Rogue. Totally.
I think that's what you said right there. That statement is like the biggest thing that scares me about wanting, and I think holding me back from wanting to do a brewery. Getting into a brewery, is I don't think I can create what I don't think my end product's going to come out with what I intend it to be yet.
Yeah, you just can't be discouraged, man. Right?
I know.
You just got to make the one and drink it and notice the whatevers, get a little buzzed and influenced by it, and then I'm sure the next will be better. And we keep drinking it because they always get better.
Yes, they do. They sure do.
So, as always, you can find us at nerdbuzzed.com. where you can listen to any episode 100% free, as opposed to
any other percentage of free.
That's right. Follow us on Facebook. Find us on Twitter at nerdbuzzed. And please leave us a comment. Tell your friends. Share. We'd really love to hear anything you have to offer for the show. Any insight.
Yes.
We would love to talk about anything nerdy that you'd love to have us talk about. We'd love to drink a beer if you have a beer. And if you play GTA Tuesday with us and you give us a heads up on what beer you want to drink with us,
dude,
I will
we'll
totally make an effort.
With you on,
yes, I will totally make an effort to go out and get that beer and drink it with you.
Unless you're from New England and it's totally a New England only beer, then
you're not going to do it. You're just going to boycott them.
Well, how are we going to find it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If we can't
that's
get,
what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. If we can't get it here, then we're not going to have it.
Okay, but that's a given.
Yeah. Well, I got to put that out there, man.
Okay.
Maybe they'll send it to us.
Yeah. I never know. I'm gonna do it too. If you send it to me, I will for sure drink it with you.
Exactly.
So on that note, with our empty glasses.
Well, I think I got a drop.
Okay.
Because you can't
that's
toast.
That's gonna be the best part, I'm sure.
You can't toast without something.
To all the nerds.
Through all the fuzz.
Bottoms up. Let's get nerd buzzed. Good to the last drop.
Very good to the last drop.